Hello, how are we doing? Welcome. Put down the wrong volume thing there. Yeah, welcome. 25,000 subscriber celebration stream. How are we doing? Everyone having a good time? A good day? Have I seen the trailer for the new D20 season? I have. I'm interested. It didn't grab me as much as some of the other trailers have grabbed me before, but you know, it's D20. I'll enjoy it. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. When we start today, we'll start with a nice pouring of some wine. This is the one that I've not tried before. It's not a cozy stream again this week. This week we're back on the bullshit. Got some wine, and thank you everyone. So we're just gonna fucking piss about, have a good time today. How's that sound? Okay, first of all, the wine today. Thank you everyone. If I don't say thank you to you, it's only because I hate you. This wine today is a Rocco Mirror Trentino Pinot Grigio from Italy, and it is 12.5%, and it was £7 on deal, down from £9. So let's see how good this is. That's not bad. Yeah, that's quite nice. I've had full disclosure, I have had a couple of pints before even coming on here, because I was out at the pub with my supervisor earlier today. So we're coming in here hot today. We're coming in here with a little bit of fuel behind us already before we start off. So yeah, this wine is nice. It's I got one thumbs up. One thumbs up from John, and I'm sure the folks at Rocco Wine Brewery will be pleased to hear it, because we all know my tastes are discerning in this regard. Joshua Duncan, thank you to everyone as well, on all the congratulations. That's quite nice. Yeah, so the new video is doing quite well. It just crossed 40,000 subscribers. Not subscribers, ooh, that'd be a big one. It's just crossed 40,000 views today, which is better than any video has done for a long time, which is good. We're hoping to get let's get past 50,000 soon. That'd be nice. Yeah, so it's been a positive week in terms of YouTubing, which is good, because it's been a bit of a slump over here, over the old John the Duncan studios. So it's been good to get a wee pausey one out. Yeah, well I might change the track, and folk can. I don't know what I'm talking about today. Don't know what I'm going to talk about, so folk can chill out and see what's up and think of things to talk about. I did just watch the new Hellraiser. We can talk about that after, like, in a sec. How many folk are watching now? 22. That's nice. Okay. Oh, why is my screen gone dead? I don't know what's happened, but my laptop screen has just gone dead. My other thing is up, so fuck it. Let's get a new tune on the go. Alright, there we go. How are we doing? Hello, innocent fugitive and Liz Poltergeist, welcome. Welcome. Not too keen on that track, but we'll change it in a bit. Yeah. So yeah, what was I saying? Just watched the new Hellraiser, and it was fine. Not much more to say about it than that. It was fine. Wasn't great. Wasn't bad. It was alright. But it did get me thinking, like, amongst all these demons whose whole thing is like, you know, the torture and loving the exquisite pleasure of pain and sensation and all that, it would be funny if there was just a guy among them called Phil whose exquisite pain pleasure was just working in a shitty office job. It's like, I guess it'd be kind of like what we do in the shadows, kind of like a figure of the energy vampire type thing. Fuck, someone's already done the joke before me. Nothing original anymore. This shirt isn't even that unbuttoned. It's just normal. It's just it's not. We're not too far at this time. We're being conservative after the display put on in the last video. I'm wearing a fucking cardigan. You don't really get me. It's not like explicit. What else is on the mind? Just saving it for later, not feeling it. Normally I don't wear my glasses when I'm streaming because, like, it reflects off the light. So you just get lots of reflections. But my contact lenses, so here's the deal. Saturday night, I was at a friend's play, and we went to the after party afterwards, and it was a bar with lots of free drinks, and the whole bar was free. And my friend Benio, who I've not seen in 5 years, was in town, and he was not a good influence in just giving me lots of free drinks, and he just kept giving me lots of free drinks. And in that party, during that party was when I hit the 25,000 subscribers, and so I was encouraged to drink more, and unfortunately more than I got in a worse state than I've been in literally a decade, and threw up for the first time in 10 years, and in that process I took out my contact lenses, because somehow I can still take off my contact lenses in that state. But what I didn't do was put the contact lens solution in the contact lens casing. So I opened my contact lenses today and they were just dry, and I was like, it'll be fine if I just like leave them to set for an hour with some liquid, with some like solution, and it was not fine. I ran out, and about a couple hours later my eyes were not feeling great today, so hence the glasses. I took them out as soon as I could, but yes, so that's why we're glasses today. I mean, frankly, I'm impressed that I managed to get my contact lenses out, because I was not in a good way that night. So frankly, it's a victory. In the end of the day, you take all the victories you can get. It was a good night though, as much of it as I can remember. Very cheap night, and quite fun. But yeah, I feel like I'd be horrified if I still footage of. I think That's probably true, yeah. I think I'd be horrified if I saw footage from that night at all, to be honest. Apparently we were me and my friend were the only people dancing in this party, and we were dancing, and nobody else was joining us. Which is a shame. Come on, because people, you gotta dance. There's music on, there's free drinks. What are you gonna do, not dance? You gotta dance. Yeah, like, I rarely do that stuff. I mean, that's like, if you're worried about like not taking them out, forgetting to take them out, I was in a bit, I could barely stand and I still managed to take them out, even if I didn't put the contact lens solution in. So, you'll probably be fine. I mean, you got like contact lens. You know what the feeling of contact lenses is when I got them, you could suddenly, you're like, oh man, you can see more than just the immediate in front of you. You can get the whole peripheral vision and everything. It's great. Contact lenses are really good if you can get them. I fully advocate for mine. But yeah, that was the only people dancing, and a whole load of folk who are not. Apparently someone came up and was starting to ask me about like lots of Scottish shit, and apparently I was very polite and restrained in talking about it, which is a fucking miracle. Like asking me about the clans, and I'm like politely explaining stuff about it being bullshit, and not like going into a massive screed about, the notion of Scottish clans being built up among imperial British nation making. It was a fun night. I also went to see fucking 2 plays this weekend. Friday I was at I went to see one at the National Theatre. Got £5 tickets to see one at the National Theatre. That was called, what was it called? Under the Alabama Sky. It was quite interesting. Lots of themes of bodily autonomy and abortion rights within the context of Reconstruction era Harlem, which was interesting. The problem with it is that it did have the most obvious Chekhov gun scenario that I've ever seen, in that a guy literally pulled out a gun at one point. Like, the scenario was like, this character walks on stage who's like a bad vibes boyfriend of one of the central characters, and she hugs him and goes, "What's that in your pocket?" And he goes, "Oh, this is just my loaded gun. You never know who I'm going to use this on." And then you're just like, okay, start the timer, someone's getting shot. Like, it was just the most Chekhov gun scenario that you could get. It was like, it really took you out of the moment of the drama of the play, because you're just like, it's like you see the Matrix, you see the cogs of this fucking play being laid out in front of you like a jigsaw, and you're like, okay, so here's how it's gonna go. But otherwise the play was good. I had this like amazing rotating set, which was cool, and which was fun. Yes, this is my shooting gun, and this is the gun that I use to shoot central characters, and it probably won't go off in this play, but if it does, it will kill a central character, because this is my central character gun. Chekhov who? I don't think it was a satire or parody of Chekhov's gun, because I think the play was originally written at a time when it hadn't become like it was like a thing, but it hadn't become like so established. Hello dear baby. It hadn't become so established as to become parody at that point. Yeah. But it was otherwise a very good play. Had one of the actresses from Orange is the New Black in it, but I haven't seen that, so I wasn't blown away by that revelation. And also one of the original London cast members of Hamilton, which I've also not seen, so that revelation didn't blow me away either. But some people were into it. What play was it? It was called something like Under the Alabama Sky or something like that. Under the Starry Alabama Sky, something like that. I can't remember. Oh, nice, the power came. I'm glad that your power is back. I'm sorry that was away. That doesn't sound ideal. What else is going on? I had to be after that Saturday. It's the season for it. Oof. Yeah, after that messy Saturday, I had to go and collect myself and go to like a dinner and be very pleasant and cordial and not obviously dead, which was a bit of a struggle. Which, yeah, so it was a weekend of highs and lows. It was nice to see my friend I've not seen in 4 or 5 years. 4 years, 2018, 4.5. That was the last time I left the country, was when I saw that guy. So nice to see him again. This is nice wine. I had this dinner had someone immediately ask me about twice this week. I've had people ask me almost immediately after finding out I'm Scottish, immediately ask me about Scottish independence. You should tell us what key your axe is tuned to and drop the chords you used on your track in the chat so folks can know. Well, I mean, this was in the one that's just G minor is that one. That one's in. I don't know about the chords because I don't. There's various random chords that just sort of fall about. Yeah, I'm glad I have a nice wine for the celebratory stream as well. It'd be a bit shit if it was one of the many crap ones I've had in the course of these streams, wouldn't it? Oh, it's time for a celebration. Here's some drain water. Wouldn't be ideal. Yeah. What was I saying? Fucking independence. Yeah, twice this week people have immediately asked me about independence after hearing them Scottish, and it's like my politeness has limits. I immediately go for the discounted wines. Of course I do. I'm not made of money. I checked my bank account today and it was bad. So I of course I go for the discounted wines. That's the assumption we're going into in this scenario, is that I'll be looking for those fucking red label discounted wines. Like, naturally. Yeah, I'm fucking, you know me, I'm rolling in it. I'm like that scene in Breaking Bad where the two characters lie on the big cuboid of money. That's me. Fucking making it rain. I think I end up saying this every stream, but if I'm ever in the UK, I'll definitely bring some wine. I mean, of course. I always enjoy wine. Good non-discounted wine in this economy? Yeah, never. It's all. Patreon isn't digital. They just send you an envelope filled with coins every month. It's a fucking hassle because it's just like, it's not even pound coins, it's like 50p's. So you've just got like hundreds of 50p's just falling on you. It's a nightmare. You got to go into the bank and count out each 50p every time you deposit. They really should update that system. Sometimes they fuck it up and send you it in American cents, and it's like, what am I even gonna do with this? I've got to go to the bureau de change to change it. That was my French pronunciation of bureau de change. I've taken change to the bank before as well, but not for a long time because there's just so little paper, like actual paper money about. I'm going to change this track because I'm not liking it. Hello to everyone. Hello to everyone who's just arrived. Hello to Quink. Nice to see you. Finally not disco, yeah. Well, we'll get back to that soon enough, I imagine. It won't take long. So I was at the pub earlier with my supervisor because there was a social for the new masters students at my university, and all of the master's students, interestingly enough, and this is a common theme throughout all of human rights, all of my experience in human rights courses. My human rights course was dominated by women, and every master's cohort that's been in my PhD and the uni I do my PhD at and I teach at has been overwhelmingly women, and this year it is entirely women. And it's interesting that is a trend that seems to be across human rights degrees and research. But yeah, so we were at the pub today, and my supervisor has recently become aware of my YouTube stuff. Previously, I hadn't really spoken to it about it to him because why bother? But somehow someone told him it came up, and I mentioned that I was doing a stream tonight, and he was like, "Oh, what do you do in your streams?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mainly just drink a bottle of wine and play guitar." He's like, "What? What? What do you even play?" And it's like, and I was like, "Oh well, it's mainly just ends up funk. It just sort of inevitably tends in that direction." And he found that very funny. So yeah, the worlds are bleeding together. Thank you, Simon J. I can get some of that music a bit louder. There we go. That's a bit better. Yeah. Supervisor on Streamline. To be honest, I think it would be very funny to get my supervisor on a stream. Just have him. I mean, he's a fucking chatty guy, interesting guy. I wouldn't lie to him like that. What am I listening to in general, or at this point? The spheres are aligning, yeah. Yeah, he's an interest, like, we were chatting today, so he does a lot of work on, ecocide and like, the destruction of, thank you, Bray. Bray. Is that like, bruh? Well, thank you, nonetheless. Yeah, so he was talking today about he was involved in this funding project that was, what have I been listening to lately in general? I'll get back to that in a second. So he's been doing a funded project on sort of fracking and anti-fracking stuff, and it was funded by a bunch of like big funders in industry, and he said it was one of the worst sort of vibes he's ever been across. It was in the Shard, and it was like as part of Warwick Business School in the Shard, and like those words indicate nothing good. Every part of that sentence is like, this is gonna be fucking bad vibes, and I was like, oh, that sounds like bad vibes, and he was like, yep. It was awful. Apparently, lots of people who work for oil companies doing their sort of corporate social responsibility bullshit have taken to like outwardly projecting an image that they are sort of funky and like with it and with the activists. So a lot of like the people who are like advocating for fracking, but we're also saying like, oh, we need energy independence so we can reinvest into all these cool new dynamic fucking renewable energy sources. Do the fracking. They were all like wearing beads and like funky shirts and stuff just to telegram that they weren't like one of the suits. They're actually one of the cool folk to be around. And my supervisor was like, yeah, these are these people are fucking the worst. These are the worst people, which I found very funny. What have I been listening to lately? What have I been listening to lately? Let's bring up my recent Spotify. See what's in my recently played stuff. So I've been listening to that Beyonce's new album a few times recently, and Gorilla's new album has been one that I've been listening to a lot. Both of those have been good. Bit of Dan Byrne. Anyone ever heard of Dan Byrne? Dan Byrne's pretty good. He does like lots of fun, kind of tongue-in-cheek, but kind of weirdly moving songs. Has anyone ever seen the movie Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story, which is like a spoof, a parody of all the music biopics, Walk the Line in particular, but like these things are all the same. If you've seen that, Dan Byrne did all the music to that. So like the songs like Beautiful Ride are Dan Byrne songs, and they're all really nice, kind of funny but also weirdly moving. That's good. Who else have been? I mean, as ever, I listened to Young Fathers a lot. I went to see the band Real Lies recently, last week. Before I had a fucking weekend of culture. Saw the band Real Lies, who are fun. They're kind of like dancey. They kind of do like 90s inspired sort of dance music with not rap but like spoken word stuff. They're really good. And they have like, they had like people voguing on stage and all that. The second time I've seen them, Real Lies are good. Where's the cat though? Cat's next door. Might get him later if you're all lucky. He was quite desperate to get in earlier. Do I listen to any psych rock? Not really. What's psych rock? Beach House. Beach House, I've not heard of them. I could do some dream pop. I mean, I mostly listen to playlists, unless I'm working. Well, if I'm working, I tend to listen to like orchestral music, or else I'll start singing along. So like soundtracks, and I've just got a playlist of orchestral music and soundtracks that I play along, that I put on if I'm working. That, or so has anyone ever seen, if you type into YouTube Ocarina of Time prog rock, then there's this incredible like 30-minute prog rock interpretation of the music from Ocarina of Time, and it fucking slaps. It's so fucking good, especially the Gerudo Desert track. It's fucking incredible. It's so good. It's like jazz and like the Gerudo Desert theme all played out. I've listened to that so many times, and I listen to it when I hit a low point in work and I need to sort of fucking psych myself up again, which is great. After this, look for that, because it's good. Who else? Who else am I listening to? I mean, I like things like Hot Chip as well. They're all good. I feel bad about listening to Queens of the Stone Age these days, because they're so, because Josh Homme is such a wanker. But yeah, that's what I'm listening to at the moment, really. Let's take a look at what my recent search is like. Paolo Nutini, that was from his newest album, which was very sort of Paolo Nutini. It was very bitty. There were some good songs and some boring songs. The thing that held up that album is that Paolo Nutini has just got such an incredible voice. Have you watched Broken Flowers? I have not. I listen to Mitski now and then. I like a bit of Mitski. I quite liked. There's a few Dodie tracks that are quite good. There's a Dodie track. What's it called? Monster, maybe. That Dodie did with Scary Pockets that was really good, as well. But yeah. I've not been, so if this is a YouTube channel, Alt Shift X, I mean, I'm so bad at keeping up with what other YouTubers are doing. I'm just so busy, so no. Thank you, KC. Or does anyone want to see a nice badge that Sophie from Mars got me? It's a nice, cool wee badge. I'll be back in a sec. You see that, Mel? Isn't that cool? Fuck, are we Lenin on fire badge? Very cool. Yeah, that was a nice wee present from Sophie. Nebula, something I mean, not really thought about that. I think Nebula's for folk who are bigger than me, isn't it? I don't really know what's involved in Nebula at this point, to be honest. If it's more work, then I just literally can't do it. I'm way too busy. Maybe I don't really know what's involved in Nebula. I don't really follow the shit on it. I know that people put out more videos on Nebula, or like they put out like things that they can't get past YouTube for various reasons, and I don't really have that. I don't have time to make more videos, and I have longer cuts of my videos that need to go up. So I mean, it doesn't really impact me. Maybe if someone was like, "Here's what it can do for you," and that sounded good, then maybe, but not really something I think about. Just coming to me to lighten the mood. That's a risky move, but I appreciate you. I appreciate you trying. We're gonna try and keep things on the up and up. I was talking to someone else today. Yesterday actually, I was talking to one of the new start PhDs in my university, and we were just chatting, and it sort of, me and a friend who's been on the course for a while was like, yeah, it's just like a matter of time, but if you're doing a PhD in this area, before you all reach a lull in the conversation where everything just gets incredibly depressing. And it was like 3 times in the conversation yesterday. It was like, oh yeah, things are really bad, aren't they? So, you know, coming here to lighten your mood. Do I follow? Congratulate. What was? Sorry, I missed. Do I follow Second Thought? I think I'm subscribed to Second Thought. Maybe I recognise that name, but like I said, I don't have these days. I'm just so immensely busy that I don't have all that much time to be watching YouTube videos, which is a shame, because lots of people are doing really good stuff, and it's probably better to keep track of what everyone's up to and what and you know, watch people's videos to get better at making mine. I just don't have time. It's a shame. Do I foresee a time when the academics will overtake your YouTube stuff? I mean, it depends. Depends on what the job market is like. At some point, and it would depend. Like, the next round of academic intake would be for jobs would be next, like, August. So it would depend on how big this channel was, whether I could continue it, justify continuing it over looking for stable employment, or two, if there's still more in me to make, and I'm sure there is. So it just depends on what the fucking situation is like. I don't think I would ever. I don't think I would close like I'm at any point soon or ever. Even if I got a full-time academic job, I wouldn't shut down the channel. If I got a full-time job, it would probably. I mean, I'd probably have to reduce upload time, just because you can't like doing. I mean, maybe I wouldn't be doing a PhD at the same time, but you know, we'd see how things balance out. Do I enjoy teaching? I really enjoy teaching. Yeah, I wish I could do more of it. Because my uni is only post-grads. There's no undergraduate teaching. There's a lot less sort of opportunity for teaching. But I really like teaching. Anytime I get the chance to do it, I really enjoy it. I wish I could do more of it. I wish I got the opportunity to do more of it. So yeah, I like that teaching. I like the teaching part. I know that some people don't, and some people really get scunnered with it, but I really like it. Hello from New Zealand. Thank you for we're doing the celebration. The music's not been very celebratory today. I'll try and pick it up a bit. It's not had the fucking funk in me today. Need to try and need to get something out that's more celebratory. Hello Trudy, how's it going? Thank you, Trudy. I was talking earlier about Trudy. Trudy, for the audience at home, Trudy is one of the friend group that the guy who was visiting me over the weekend is part of. And Trudy, I was telling everyone about Benyo working to get me just outrageously drunk on Saturday, and breaking my 10-year no puke record. But you know, it was good to see him. Going to North Carolina. We had a very good time, Trudy. It was a great laugh. I took him to some nice places. I made him some espresso martinis and some quesadillas, which did not last the whole night inside my body, but they were nice on the way down. So we had a good time. It was good to see him. God, I love Benyo so much. Such a good guy. It was a good time. Hello, Martin. Benyo was saying he didn't like espresso martinis, but then he revealed that that he's only ever had them from a can, and I was like, I'll make you good espresso martinis. And I made him some good espresso martinis. And he admitted he liked them. It was a good weekend though. Good times. And thanks for dropping by, Trudy. Should we try and get another track on the go? We'll try and get one more upbeat. Martini from a can. Outrageous, isn't it? The fucking Dutch. What is it about? Come on. What are you doing? Get a grip. I think espresso martinis did originate. I think they originated in London. The sort of story is that I think Naomi Campbell, the model, came into a London bar and asked for something that would get her fucked up but also wake her up, and the bartender made an espresso martini. I think that's the story about it, and that's I think they originate in London.
I'm not feeling it, I'm afraid. Uh, just not feeling it.
I need to get something else down. See you later, Trudy. Enjoy your work. Okay, I'm happy with that one. Hey, thank you, Esther. Yeah, the music has been a bit harder today for some reason. Might be the couple of pints that I had before arriving. Yeah. Oh, I can turn it up. I never know how high it is for conflicting with talking. Is that better? Yeah, I mean, I'd rather people can hear. Cool. You just let me know if it's too loud or too quiet. Nah, I mean, hey, this is as much for you as it is for me. We're all in this together. The other side of it is, that it is going to repeat several times, so you don't want it to get sick of it. What was I talking about before I started playing music for a while? Gotta be louder than the thoughts, yeah. What did you tell us all? It's getting warm. Calm yourself, you animals. It's like a tide, it ebbs and flows. Yeah, I am. It's heating up. Yes, it's heating up. You know, so we should probably talk about the last video, eh? We've not even talked about the last video yet. Which, you know, it's done such what's the wine of the day? Oh, well, I'll do a repetition of the wine for the day, and then we can talk about the previous video, because it's done incredibly well, and I'm very pleased with it. Because it took a long time to do that video. The wine, for anyone who wasn't here at the start, the wine is Rocca Mirror Pinot Grigio 2021. It's got Italy written on it, so it must be Italian. Keen deductive mind at work there. I'm like Columbo. And it is 12.5%. I should let me read the label for you all. I'll do a dramatic reading of the label for everyone. Oh no, wait, no, it's in Italian. Oh no, wait, no, it's also in English. From Trentino, this delicious Pinot Grigio wait, actually, no, I can do better than that. From Trentino, this delicious Pinot Grigio stands out for its elegance and fruity notes of white peach and yellow apple, good structure and sapidity. It is ideal as an aperitif and matches perfectly with seafood and pasta dishes. Okay, first thing, I don't know what sapidity means. That's not a real word. Secondly, good with seafood or pasta dishes. I can't eat seafood, unfortunately. Do you want me to read the Italian? I don't want to read the Italian because that's going to get me fucking cancelled for being doing some terrible Italian. We're not going to read the Italian. Because, as we all know, the main racism is anti-Italian racism. And we're struggling at a time right now where it's heightened with Chris Pratt and his Super Mario voice, really a spit in the face to Italians everywhere. So I won't add to that climate of tension by reading the Italian. Hello, Critical Revolt. How are we doing? Buongiorno. I love that shit. French, I'd be fine if it was in French. I'd read that shit in a Scottish accent because that's just funny. Yeah, I could talk about the video. Yeah. Fashion. That's true. Fucking talking about Columbus Day in the US to address anti-Italian racism. It's true. French, in a specifically in a Glaswegian accent, is the funniest thing to me. Because I'm sure I've told this on stream before. My granny used to speak French with a Glaswegian accent, well, specifically a Paisley accent, and I just think it's so funny. I just think it's so funny to go, bonjour, je m'appelle John. She used to say, pass the juice at the dinner table and say, passing le jus, s'il vous plaît, which is, it's just great. It's just so fucking funny. Thank you, Domjat. Thank you. Yes, the video. How did it feel being so naked in camera? Honestly, not great. It was. I was unsure about that whole bit. I think that's the only way that French language should be experienced. That's true. That's how it should be on Duolingo. So the purpose of that, of being topless in that whole section, and like the reason it with the pink lighting and the reflection, it wasn't just for thirst. Like that wasn't the onus behind that. It was, supposed to be about stripping back and reflecting on masculinity and like and sort of trying to disrupt it slightly with like the pinkness of the background and all that stuff. That was like what I was very, very pleased with myself for doing. Vulnerability as well, yeah. With doing that, with actually putting some thought into the video aspect of the video essay, which is not. Have I gotten thirsty feedback from the video? Yes, I have got. I've got lots of interesting, like thirsty feedback, whatever. And the interesting thing is that from the men who are really angry and really upset about the video, the first thing that they go to express why they don't like the video is saying, why should I take advice from some tiny, which I don't often get called tiny, but it's hard to get scale on camera, but from some tiny beta male. So like people immediately go to like being really like me being fairly skinny and not in like a jacked fucking guy, and like going after not being attractive enough as like the thing, which is like, yeah, I mean I am 6'4", like I'm not a small person, but it's funny that they immediately go to that very specific thing, which is like obviously bound up with like the point of the video being like so much of this masculinity is bound up with like domination, and like the notion, like they immediately be like, oh, this guy couldn't beat me in a fight, he couldn't dominate me, so I'm not gonna take his opinion seriously, and it's quite funny how they comment that. Some of them like clearly have watched the whole video, because like they make references to things that happen at the end of the video, and somehow don't get that what they're doing is exactly firming up the point of the video. It's really odd, and kind of speaks to the whole power of masculinity as like a cultural form. Thank you, Carpe Packs. We're just talking about the video now. Yeah, really sort of demonstrating the point, which is interesting. Yeah. But yeah, I wouldn't say I didn't enjoy filming those bits that were more like, I didn't enjoy filming. Oh, fucking hell. Fuck, what comes next? Kiddy, it's just cheers to you as ever. Like, Super Chats gets a cheers, and that's incredible. Yeah, some of that stuff was not entirely pleasant to film, and some of it wasn't pleasant to write. What's next? What comes next? I mean, so the goal, this might have been a too ambitious goal. I'll get back to what I was saying in a second. The original goal for this year, the two goals were, one, be able to pay my rent with YouTube money, which I have achieved. I can pay rent with YouTube money, which is fucking incredible. That's really a big achievement, and I'm very happy with it. And the other was to reach 50,000 subscribers. I'm not gonna reach that, but like when this was the start of the year, was coming off the chicken run video, so I had like an inflated sort of trajectory of subscribers. So I'm not going to reach that, but then next goal will be reaching 50k and maybe being able to survive without having to get another job off of YouTube. That'll be the next goal. So that's what's next. I'll have to think of things to do for the next videos. What next? What was I saying? Oh yeah, so some of the stuff in the video was not pleasant to write or talk about, and that stuff is obviously the my brother's bullying. Not my brother's bullying. It was obviously like the sexual harassment or sexual assault, depending on, you know, whatever definition you're using within workplaces. That's one of those things, like, you talk about it, does not feel good. It's not a good thing to reflect on. It doesn't feel nice to reflect or talk about that stuff. But it is a good demonstration of the problems of masculinity. And that presenting that stuff while you're topless does feel odd. I'm not gonna lie, that feels like that is an odd thing to feel like when you're because there's a certain degree to which you're sort of exploiting your sort of even though I had reasons that were legitimate and good, like symbolic and artistic reasons for this, and that they fit into the stories being told, I knew that there would be a certain genre of comment that would be thirsty, and I don't think that's bad, and I don't think anyone who made a thirsty comment is bad, but that knowledge combined with the subject matter being talked about made the whole experience of making that sort of thing very odd, like a very odd sort of experience to talk about that stuff in that context. And that's probably about, like, I wouldn't ever really want to get any more in detail about my personal life than that. And that, like, that is a hard limit on my personal life stuff, and that's stuff that happened like close to 8 years ago now, a long time ago now. But yeah, that's a level of strangeness to that. I had a friend who worked in a club that was men on one side and women on the other, and the women's side paid way more for all the reasons you said. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. It's not a good I mean, like and it is a weird thing. So you don't want to like overemphasize like the shitness. Like you don't want to, because at no point was I in danger of anything worse happening to me than that. Whereas women in a nightclub are, very much are, but so you're kind of in a weird sort of balancing act of wanting to talk about how horrible this thing is and how it shouldn't happen to anyone, without trying to play into certain narratives that like, because you do get these narratives among certain like men's rights folk who are like, oh, it's much harder for men and nightclubs, much harder for men working in nightclubs. The women who worked in that nightclub had so many shit experiences with men as well, and so many shit experiences with management directly sexually harassing them and all that stuff as well. Much worse, or maybe not worse is not maybe a good sort of framework, but like they had their own fucking shit to deal with, and I wouldn't want to imply that they didn't. Yeah, it was a not nightclub. A nightclub is a nice microcosm about why fucking working in any environment sucks. Why it's shit. Don't work in nightclubs, folks. Nightclubs are bad for working in. Innocent Fugitive. I can certainly imagine the tourist experience playing into that. Yeah, Michelle, that was kind of my rationale for that as well, because I thought that was something that was worth talking about within the context of this video. If it was a video that wasn't explicitly about the ways in which domination interacts with masculinity and all that, I wouldn't talk about it, because there's no need. But within the context of the specific video, it was worth talking about. Yeah. Thank you, Cali Pigeon. Oh yeah, no, but it was awful. Yeah, it's an awful thing to happen. It wasn't good. I don't think I understand what you're saying. It is a workers' rights issue, but I think it's important to pay attention to the different ways in which these things are manifest, because so a lot of the women in that workplace, if they were touched in any way by any of the punters, any of the people who were coming to the nightclub, they would immediately get chucked out, which is absolutely fair and absolutely should happen. And part of that is because they are at much more significant risk of further danger than any of the men are. That doesn't justify the different sort of experience of that compared to the men. Was like the men, it was treated as a joke. The men, it was treated as something that was part of the reason why the women were there, to be honest, is that they could they would come to see some sort of handsome young man teach them how to make cocktails, and then would go to the nightclub and they would touch the young male bar staff, and that was like part of their experience, and that was accepted, and it was basically encouraged by the establishment. What we didn't have was sexual harassment by management, which is what the women had. So I think the dynamics of these different things are worth examining for the ways in which different gender experiences within the workplace are examined and manifest themselves. So you could say, like, we can examine it from a workers' rights perspective, but the risk is obscuring the differences in how workers' rights and how labour organising within those contexts manifests itself, I think. Michelle, I'm not sure that's the case. I don't think the reason it was acceptable is because those women were seen as weak. I think there's an element that, like, we brushed off because we weren't in a lot of danger, but I think the reason it was justified was, like I said in the video, was because we were supposed to like it. We were supposed to like being touched, and we were supposed to like being an object of a sexualized object, because we're men and we're always, and part of masculinity is the constant, the idea that we're constantly after and looking for sex, and I think that's part of the reason. And the other being like the idea that if we admitted that we'd felt dominated by these women, then that would be a failure of masculinity too. So we couldn't admit that, because to admit that we felt bad about it would be failing at masculinity. And that, you know. So I think it's less the inferior weakness and more like the specific like domination aspect. Yeah, I think there's certainly is a level that like they weren't seen as a specific threat, that we weren't gonna be like that they weren't. I mean, they like, it's funny because like we weren't gonna, it wasn't gonna go any further than how it went. That was as far as that was ever going to go. But like they still sexually assaulted us or sexually harassed us, like, and that is a threat. So it's funny talking about it in like the level of threat, like how that translates the actual experience of it, and even talking about it like that, if that's reproducing the very sort of problems that facilitate it in the first place. Yeah. Thank you, Mifro. Have a good night. Yeah, so that was sort of like, sorry to ask, but I wonder about your thoughts on queer people in social reproduction theory, specifically ace people. Liz, I don't have enough. I don't know enough about specifically ace people within that context. But the essay that I referenced in the video, and I've referenced in the neoliberal feminism video, which is in transgender Marxism, which talks about how even in queer spaces, it's femme subjects, people who present more femme, who perform femininity or femme subjecthood. They tend to be the ones who are who bear the brunt of social reproductive activity, and even in queer spaces, and it's not so that's connected to sexuality, but it's not the entirety of it. So a hazardous guess, which I would not say outright, but if there were ace people within queer spaces, the more masc or femme presenting of them, the more like masculine presenting of them, would probably perform less of the social reproductive labor, like in general. That would fit with the framework and with the general trends that are pointed out by in books like Transgender Marxism. But again, like, I don't know enough. I don't have enough information. I've not read enough research on that specific topic to give a firm answer there. Sorry. To your point that you're supposed to like it, there's a good Norm Macdonald joke on the idea that men are constantly thinking about sex every 4 seconds, and he says, what a hell of an existence is that? I mean, yeah, it is funny. Oh, thank you, Lala Liz. Thank you for coming and chilling out. Yeah, Michelle, you're right, yeah. Ailsa McIntosh. I previously worked as a photographer in nightclubs and bars, and I certainly felt uncomfortable watching as a horde of women would surround the cocktail guys. Yeah, the cocktail guys, I think, had it worst. There's something, I don't know what Maybe there's another essay to do on like the specific sexualizing of the guy who makes cocktails, but in the nightclub I worked at, the cocktail guys got harassed, like, and like a part of the way, like, they sometimes gained significant money from being harassed, because a lot of these women would like give them huge tips, but like those huge tips would come with some real incredibly bad behavior on their part. It's weird, isn't it? I wonder why that is. Why specifically the cocktail guys got a lot of it. It's strange. Something to think about. Is it like something about like the act of making the cocktail? Is that kind of just hot? I don't know. Like, it's weird. Thank you, CJA0. I don't know how to say that in a single word, but thanks for chilling. Oh, I don't doubt that hen parties are the fucking worst. Like, stag do's are bad, but hen parties are just fucking terrible. Let's see. Sorry, let me scroll up. See what. Yeah, I imagine that the ace people are probably overlooked in these sort of topics. It would, for what it's worth, like, social reproduction isn't something that is inherently tied to biological reproduction, and I would imagine that ace people get like who are more femme presenting tend to get labelled with those traditionally gendered roles of reproductive labour, even if it's not something that they'd ever wanted to be subject to. But yeah, it'd be something that'd be worth looking into more. Yeah, it does seem like a bit of a movie trope thing. Ah yes, Sinan, how's it going? How are we doing? We're just talking about the last video, and we were talking about the terrible sexual harassment in nightclubs. First job I ever walked out of before putting in 2 weeks was was that a nightclub? HR is never your friend. I forgot about the dentist. That's a horrible thing to get surprised about. What else in the video is worth talking about? I enjoyed sharing the story of my brother. Your teeth are good? Good stuff. We love to see it. Keep your teeth strong. I enjoyed sharing the stories of my brother's bullying and as a child. He got me so hard. It's one of my favourite stories, to be honest. I mean, the whole story is such a perfect like introduction to the. I know, I didn't forget that lesson. He's so smug about it. He's so smug about it these days. Like, he, like, I don't know if anyone saw on Twitter, but he fucking quote tweeted me being like, "I'm so glad to see my lessons I've kept up with John's psyche," which is very funny. But it's such a good like introduction to the topic, because like Up Hell Yeah, the holiday that we were up for, is like so masculinized. It's like an incredibly masculine festival with everyone dressed as Vikings and like the building a boat and burning it and doing processions through the streets, and like so much of Uphellia as a festival is so masculine. Like, it's made up of like troops or squads, and the squads are largely, I think, until relatively recently, the rules were that they had to be all men, and they would go around these different halls where the women would be doing drinks and doing food, and the men would come round in these like squads, and they'd do performances, and they were silly like comedy performances, but like the whole thing is like a microcosm of gender, and it's just like it's just very pleasing to me that in that story you can set up this absolute incredibly good microcosm of gender relations, and then be like, yeah, but the problem was this fucking thing my brother did to me in a swimming pool. Like, when it fucking made me walk around an outside swimming pool 100 times. That's what we're talking about. We could deal with the sociological point, but we're dealing with my fucking beef right now. And that was just immensely pleasing to me. Just immensely fun. Oh, Sinan, like, I would like to. The last time I went was that time when I was about 10 years old, and I would like to go. And obviously, when you're 10 years old, you don't get to go to the halls. And they go on and they party until like 5, 6 in the morning, sometimes later or earlier, depending on your point of view. And you obviously don't get to go to the halls if you're 10 years old. So I would like to go. And sort of have a look and experience it. But I think since COVID, it's not gone back on yet. I don't think. I think it was cancelled this year. We'll see if it's on this next year. But yeah, I think also it's hard to get tickets for. And now that my granny is no longer in Shetland, we no longer have the same connections. You kind of need connections to get tickets. But yeah, it's a fun thing. I'd like to go back. My granddad was in the Jarl squad one year, and the Jarl squad are are obviously the ones who dress as Vikings, and the other squads dress as various different things. Like, they did have to ban blackface much later than you would hope that they would have banned blackface. Shetland's racial politics, not great. But regardless of that, there's a lot of comedy squads. But the Jarl squad is the big one who wear the Viking helmets, and they build the boat and then burn the boat. And my granddad was in the Jarl squad one year. I think that was the one time he ever grew out a beard, was when he was in the Jarl squad. There was a fun time. This was a different time, but I was thinking about like sort of incorporating it into the story. My granny, it must have been the same time. My granny pointed out to us, to my mum. She was like, "See a young fellow over there, that portly fellow with the beard," and she pointed to like this line of portly men with beards, and my mum was like, Which of the assembled portly men with beards are you talking about? And my granny was like, "That one, with the beard and he's got quite a belly on him." And my mum was like, "What? Which one?" And it sort of went on for 5 minutes, and my mum never found out which person my granny was referring to. But plenty of portly men with beards. You probably have ancestors in Shetland? Who raided Shetland, right? I mean, I probably have ancestors who raided Shetland too, and that's probably how they ended up in Shetland. As the portly beards gone, yeah. What else? What else is worth talking about in that video? Yours didn't stick around, yeah. Anything else? Let's Tripoli does sound nice. in Tripoli the winters aren't like 2 hours of daylight. Thank you, Lizard Apology guys. Thanks for sticking around. Let's thank you, John Parker. You and me are on the right course. Cheers, Sinan. What things am I still thinking about? So there's a couple of things that I'm still thinking about. I mean, we can get back. Let me take a look. The one source from the video, Casey, that is worth, I think, reading is Hassan's work on migrants and masculinity. The one that I reference heavily. I think that's a really valuable book, and obviously the social reproduction theory book, which is, I forgot to cite that in the bibliography. I need to put that in the pinned comment. Someone pointed that out. But the Sears and Bhattacharya's social reproduction theory. So things that I've been thinking about from it. So earlier drafts of the video had thank you people over profits. Was the streamer? Yeah. I mean, that would be impressive if he'd written that book. No, so earlier drafts had a whole big section on the policing of the bounds of masculinity via sexuality, and that's something that I think might be worth getting into in a longer form, talking about in a longer form, because there's, I think, lots of interesting things to talk about in the ways in which sexuality has been mobilized and how certain homonormative sexualities have been cooperated and co-opted by hegemonic masculinity to reinforce itself. And the book Towards a Gay Communism is, I think, really good at looking. It doesn't use these terms, but it sort of looks at the limited, the limited nature of sort of those like gay men who want to look normal, and certain gay women as well. But I feel like this because of its proximity to whiteness and masculinity. It tends to be white gay men who propose this sort of homonormativism, and I think that'd be something interesting to expand on at a later time. And the other thing, which is probably something I'd get to closer, is a critique of like post-structuralism, because the more sort of post-structuralism I read, the more that I think that the general post-structuralist critique isn't really of structuralists, because I just don't think they're making a critique of what structuralism is. I don't think that's what they're doing, and like the way in which masculinities are disaggregated, and this problem of still having to find an underlying logic to connect various disaggregated things is just structuralism. Like, it's just structuralism by a different name, and I think that would be something. I think that's probably something I'm going to get to sooner rather than later. Is that sort of critique, fucking coming after the post-structuralists. We're going into Marxist stuff and a critique of post-structuralists, but we're going to critique them on their own terms and figure out what they're doing. And to be honest, a critique of post-structuralists, which indicates that they're not actually critiquing structuralists, allows much more people, like much more structuralists or more Marxists, to take post-structuralist work and incorporate it into their work in useful and interesting ways, in ways that like Poulantzas uses Foucault. That's sort of interesting stuff. So those are two immediate things that I'd like to expand on. Right. let's get another track down and we could all think of other things to talk to in the meantime. Talk about in the meantime.
Yeah, catch
In the post-Ripsless. Yeah, quite Strokes vibes. I can. That's a. Strokes were something I was very into when I was learning how to play guitar. Makes sense. What's up then? What have I missed? What have I missed while I was fucking about? Cody, I need to talk to Cody more. I need to watch some more news videos. Is this we're talking about Jordan Peterson, is it? Fucking Jordan Peterson. Someone, I think it was Innocent Fugitive. Who was it that was saying? Someone mentioned, can I talk more about structuralist stuff? Not today, but that would be the content of the video if I decided to make it. The sort of delineating what all this stuff means would be part of the video. I'm not going to get into it now because it's a lot to do. And you got to deal with fucking minutiae of fucking philosophy, which I'm not going to deal with. Yeah. How are we doing on the wine front? Oh, we've got a bit yet. We've got some more time in us. We got some more time in us today, don't we, guys? I don't know why my laptop screen has gone black. I don't know how many people are watching right now, or if anyone is, but we got some time left in us, and then we can do some. Then we can chat a bit more. An elderly man who worked at Walmart heard that was a Hug a Cashier Day on the radio. Then proceeded to only the female and femme customers in the checkout. Oh, gross. Oh my god. That doesn't sound great, Critical Revolt. Yeah, Sinan, we'll stick around for Sinan. We're here for Sinan's. This is Sinan's emotional support stream, and we're here for it. Yeah. What else is going on? I submitted an abstract for a conference paper today. Got to get it out for the paying folks tomorrow. Oof, I hate that deadline stuff. There was a period when I was getting really just a game review. There was a period when I was getting really worried about 3 videos in 3 weeks. That's so many videos, Sinan. Yeah, there was a period when I was like really worried about getting videos out in like once a month, and if I didn't do it out, I'd be like really hard on myself, and I just had to self-consciously be like, yeah, I'm not doing that anymore, because like the stress of that was not doing good things, and like people are like, and it was like the moment that like people are on Patreon, it's like I owe people to get this stuff out now more. And everyone on Patreon was like, yeah, no, we don't care. Like, you take the time that you need to make this video. And I was like, yeah, this makes sense. And that, yeah, I was driving myself mad with the stress of trying to get one out a month. Woo, hello Lost Futures, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Hope your video, masculinity, is doing well. Yeah, everyone's nice. And it was it was much more my own sort of psychology about getting stuff out more than anything. Yeah. And I would rather, and I think they would rather. I think people would rather take more time to do something that was better than rush out something that wasn't as good. And that was like, and like this masculinity, but I know like, it's interesting. So I've been planning this video on masculinity for a long time, but this like since before this current discursive wave of like people like Chill Goblin and FD started like doing their masculinity videos. It's been one that I've been planning for like close to a year at this point, and it's just taken me a long time to get round to both doing all the research and finding an angle that was worth talking about, that I could provide something interesting to say. So this one has been a long time coming, and I would rather have something a long time coming that was good than something shit. Which is not to imply at all that any of the other work on masculinity is shit, because it's not. A long time coming. What's the one in 3 weeks? If you can release that into the wild. Just DM right now. I mean, I'll fucking like I'll cancel. I'll fight all of them. I'll fight all of them. Like, it'll be a Mexican standoff for cancellations. Oh, topic is secret for now. Okay, yeah. I like the idea of Sam and James trying to come at me. Someone clipping this stuff and be like, John hates you. You heard of this guy, John Duncan? He fucking hates you. I'm already an enemy of the channel. Oh, it's not secret anymore. Oh, okay. So yeah, I've got to think about things to do next, because whatever I do on that sort of post-structuralism stuff, that'll take a while. It'll take a lot of research. I can't think. There's something I have in the bank, but it's something that I'm not ready to put out yet. But it's something that it's an annoying thing, because it's like, I have a video idea that I could put out very quickly with no research, like a personal blog style thing that would do fucking numbers, and that would be very, very good. But I don't even have a title for it. Excuse me. Oh. But I'm just not ready to put it out yet, and that's something that I've got in the bank for some point, but I'm not sure what to do next. I've not got any like short form ideas, because normally I've been trying to do like a short form essay and then a bigger one and then a short form one, but I've got no short form ideas right now. Might have a think about it. Chicken Run 2 will be out at Christmas time, so we might get a sequel to Chicken Run video at some point soon. That could be fun, and this one I'd be more careful about making sure I monetize it, and don't get copyright blocked. But yeah, wonder what'll come out next. Need to read some more books, get some more ideas. What's on the brains of everyone on chat? What's going on in chat's life? books. It sounds like coward sock. Sorry, Sinan. I just like to do the research. I just like to do the research in my videos. Yeah, I like. There's some interesting stuff as well. Maybe like something about family abolition would be something an interesting video to do. Yeah, Sinan, you're an uncancelable person with your laissez-faire attitude. I mean, there's stuff like at one point I'm gonna try and adapt these later chapters of the PhD that I'm working on right now into a video. So the stuff that I did, the video on neoliberal subjectification back in January, which bizarrely did extremely well. Like that video, which is like dense theoretical stuff, has like 36,000 views, and I don't fucking know why. But I was like, I want to adapt some of that stuff into a new video. Do some more stuff on like neoliberalism and human rights. Neoliberalism and human rights video that I can try and sort of cobble together at some point as well. It's like building off of the Marxism and human rights video from a few years back. Oh yeah, I've been seeing a lot of the family abolition discourse recently. Yeah. Have I heard about the Wrong Boys' idea of library socialism? If so, what do you think about it? I'm afraid I haven't heard about it. If I had, I wish I had, or else I would gladly give an opinion. Yeah. My thing, like, my reading is broad for someone in my sort of line of my sort of field, but pretty narrow in terms of it's quite focused on human rights, neoliberalism, and social reproduction. So outside of that field, it's likely. Andrewism is something I should watch more YouTube, man. I need to watch more YouTube videos. I've just fallen behind with everyone. Hello, Polo. How are you doing? Behind the Bastards. Yeah, my flatmate has been listening to a lot of Behind the Bastards recently. Been hearing a lot about Kissinger, Henry Kissinger's life because of the Behind the Bastards. Oh, this is something. Couple weeks, I'm going to be on the Respect the Dead podcast. I think we're going to do a live stream. We're going to do a live charity stream raising money for the IWGB Strike Fund. And we're going to be talking about Margaret Thatcher. We're going to be finding Margaret Thatcher's grave and pissing on that. That'll be something to look forward to. Oh, Sinan, you need to talk to me about D&D. Because I think my D&D campaign is, I think, falling through at this point. Issues have fallen through, which is a shame. So I'm looking for another D&D campaign to start up. One that is at more human hours for people in the UK. I miss D&D. If anyone caught a few weeks ago, it was very fun. Played a campaign as Robert Burns, a charity stream, D&D stream, part of the Disabled Gamers collective, which was fun. Oh, that'd be good, Sinan. Need to do more D&D. Need to get back into it. I do enjoy it. I did enjoy playing a bard. Bard was. I remember saying on stream a few months ago that Bard was one of the classes that I had no interest in actually playing, but I was playing as Robbie Burns, so I obviously had to be a bard, and I enjoyed playing it. It was a fun thing to do, fun thing to play a bard. Although I'm not sure I could have expanded that beyond the very limited 3-hour window that we were doing our campaign. What's going on in everyone else's lives? Halloween coming up. Anyone got any Halloween plans? Halloween costumes planned? I'm just going to do the same as last year, which is Loki from the TV show Loki, because it cost money to make that costume, and I'm not going to pay more money to build another one. Need a costume, yeah. See, I'm just gonna reuse a costume. Not gonna buy another one, cause fuck that. Yeah, Meredith Mars. It was very fun to play a bard. Squid Game jumpsuits, classic. That's a good one. You going trick or treating again? That'd be fun. I remember one year in Glasgow, we me and my flatmates, we were living in a building that had kids in it for the first time, so we like got loads of sweets and like got big buckets and like put them outside our door, and not a single kid came round not a single kid came round guising, and it was a shame. So we just had buckets of chocolate to eat because none of them took it. You live and you learn. Just make one of your partner. Have I thought about making a Discord? She flew to the moon. I have a Discord. A Discord is open to $5 and up patrons. Buckets of chocolate sounds like the opposite of a problem. We were just excited to see lots of the like kids come round in their costumes and do their trick or treating. It would have been nice. It was a shame. What was I saying? Yeah, no, I've got a Discord, but it's $5 and up patrons get access to the Discord, because I don't have the capacity to manage a Discord that's open to everyone. So it's just a limited thing. I'm gonna try and do another track. Folk, think of some. We used to do guising sometimes. The problem when we were kids, the people who lived next door to us, they didn't do Halloween. They thought it was kind of a devil's holiday, which is a shame. So they got egged quite a lot, and there weren't that many places for us to go as kids round our village, and we did it at like next door neighbours and stuff. But a few times we went to the other village we went to school, and we had some good time doing Halloween. Got some good costumes. I went as an executioner one year. That was fun. Yeah. That's such a shame. Why would you ban guising? I'm gonna make a pumpkin this year. I'm gonna at least 2. So we're having a Halloween party here, and I'm already gonna go to the closest Aldi. They've got huge pumpkins. I'm gonna carve out one, maybe carve out 2, get them out on the balcony. It's gonna be fucking lovely. Get my sister round, she can make vodka jelly shots. It's gonna be a fucking delight. My sister had such a good Halloween party one year. Like, her and her flatmates, they put a bunch of like pillows in black plastic bags and like roped them up so it looked like a body, and like put all this blood all over the bathroom and put it in the bath, and it was very good. I don't know if we'll put in that amount of effort. We're just here for the party. Too American. Where are you from, Ale? Ailsa, are you like what? If Ailsa McIntosh is a very Scottish name. For to say it's too American, like guising exists. The Americans didn't invent it. It's such a shame to ban trick or treating in the building. I'm not sure the history of it. I think it's one of those holidays, Casey, that's like sort of Christian, but also the Christians stole it from pagans. I feel like it's one of those ones, like Christmas, I guess. Just a normal executioner. Livingston. Your ma said it was too American. Geison's like fucking hundreds of years of kids have been geising. If it started in Ireland, then it likely would have been in Scotland too. I mean, specifically geising is what they call it in Scotland. See you later, Casey. Good shows, then. Yeah, Livingston sucks. Sorry for people in Livingston. Let's do another track. Oh, I'll chat while I fiddle about with this and see if I can come out with something. Okay, we've got something. the music was too hot that it brought out the chatbots. I like that. Oh, I am excited for the community film, by the way. I will get back to that in a second. I'm gonna do something kind of. Let's do something nice and chill. talk about these headphones, Innocent Fugitive. If you are, these headphones are no longer even fully functional because the cat has been eating them. Because the cat loves eating headphones. I think it's good. It's good that it's snowing. Snow's good. Stream's still going. We've got about half a glass of wine left on this stream. We'll probably go until 11. Welcome back with a drink. I'm enjoying this track too much to stop and actually chat. I will be back with chat in just 1 second. Alright, I'm back. Sorry, I was enjoying that too much. That's too fun. Are we murdering snails now? Snails are good. Stop murdering snails.
Oops.
I'm glad you're here. That's why we're here, isn't it? Alright, well, we will, after this drink, I think we'll probably call it a day. We'll either this drink or 11 o'clock, whichever comes first. We'll call that the end of the stream. Until then, we'll keep chatting away. We'll keep enjoying this celebratory stream. Very jealous of my accent. I mean, thanks. It's just a product of where I live. We always like to keep the vibes chill here. The vibes are so aggressively unchill in the actual videos that it's good to have chill vibes on the stream. It's like, oh yeah, we can talk about the various terrible things in the world, but we can also drink wine and fuck around on a guitar. That's the fun of it. The multiplicity of human experience. One of my American friends who have I found my accent being unconsciously suppressed when I've been around a lot in English? No. I was just about to say, like, one of my friends in my PhD course is from New Orleans, and he just doesn't understand what I'm saying if I've been drinking. Like I'll say something and he'll just be like blanking, and it's like, my accent's not hard. I don't have a particularly thick accent. I'm conscientious in that way. But apparently when I've been drinking, it's a bit too much for him. I've found that a lot of Scottish people in London, I guess, since there's the only place in England I've lived, really play up their Scottishness when they're in London. They're like, "Oh, I'm so odd, I'm Scottish in London." It's like, nah, you're not. You're not. I don't know, like thick, like there's. I think it's the slight slurring that already plays with the. You don't really have an accent. Yeah, the fake thick accent. I've noticed that with some Scottish folk in London. It's weird. It's a weird thing. It's like, if you like being Scottish that much, why did you move to England? Like, it's not an achievement to have been born in a specific geography. Like, what's going on? Nobody's impressed by it. Sorry, this is my PSA to fucking Scottish people in London. Nobody's impressed by you. You're not special. You're not unique. Stop embarrassing us. Fucking PSA to the Scottish London community. Get your shit together. Come on. You're embarrassing the lot of us. I mean, when I lived in America, I did sometimes, and like, I ordered food a few times, and I did it with an English accent, because I would go into like an IHOP a couple of times and be like, can I get this thing, and the wait staff wouldn't understand me until I used an English accent, and then they would actually understand me. So I get that. And that that's a little bit annoying, but like, fuck, who cares? There's a weird thing, the Scottish psyche. Scottish psyche is desperate to be oppressed by the English, so they're all like, they're like, a lot of Scottish folk are like, oh, we're not gonna make ourselves more understandable. We're gonna go to England and we're gonna be more Scottish. It's like, yeah, okay. Why don't you just develop a personality instead? Like, I got surprised hearing someone with an English accent at the grocery store the other day. It's fairly rare to hear it where you are. Oh, yeah. I mean, I am. If I hadn't already done a video on, you know, Scottish imperialism and the weird kind of cultural amnesia about empire and the effect that has on the Scottish psyche, I would do another one. Maybe I'll do another video on the weird Scottish psyche at some point, because it's fucked up. An insistence. There's an insistence in a lot of like Scottish politics that we're oppressed, not like by virtue of being Scottish, no, like, and it's like, we're not. I mean, if anyone hasn't seen the video on Scottish imperialism, it's a video I'm pleased with from that period of video making. It's like 2 years old at this point, I think. But yeah, that's an older but a video I am pleased with, that one on Scottish imperialism, and it kind of speaks to the weird ways in which Scotland interacts with its colonial history. To what degree would I say the influence of Limmy has affected the Scottish oppression psyche? I don't know. I mean, I love Limmy. Limmy does have. I think Limmy's a big independence guy. Get me in a room with Limmy for 2 hours. I'll make him a communist if he's not one already. I really like Limmy. Limmy's tweet when the Queen died, with his sketch of him just saying, "She's downstairs. She's downstairs." I don't use Twitch often. I used Twitch. See, back in like, I used to watch a lot of YouTube in like 2000, between like 2018 to 2020. But since the end of like lockdowns, I've used both a lot less. I've not been on Twitch in a long time, which is a shame because I used to like jumping into streams of folk alike. I'm just fucking too busy. I need a break. I need like a solid like month of holiday. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I'll go back on streaming on Twitch because I can't be bothered learning a new format. And I like YouTube. I've got my wee community here. It's fine. I'm not too fussed about getting bigger streaming community. I don't stream all that often. But I do like. I used to like hanging out on Twitch. Just like jumping in. It's a really nice thing to jump into like a streamer's chat and everyone be like, "Oh, it's you," and you're like, "Oh, yeah, it's me. Look at that, it's me." That's fun. I use it a lot of lockdown as well. Oh, the cat. We've not seen the cat yet.
I will bring in the cat.
Give me a second. Everyone. We're gonna get a cat treat for you folk who've hung out for long enough. he is. I just woke him up from a nap, so look at how sleepy he is. Look at how sleepy he is. He's a wee baby. Your fans on the old YouTube. He can't play guitar, he's got no thumbs. Power. Yep. It's time. He's probably gonna be an absolute bastard when I toss him back into the living room. We'll let him hang out for a bit longer in here. He's too tired to actually do anything. He's let's see. He's so dignified. Look at that cat. Look at his dignity. You're not getting my headphones. Stop trying to eat the headphones. Oh my god. His breath, it's so bad. Oh, he's a big guy. Yeah, he's a big cat. Oh. He's so long. Yeah, his bad breath is really bad. Hello. Yeah, we're just talking about you and your bad breath. Yeah, he does. He's sitting like that right now with his little legs. Luckily, he's asleep, otherwise I don't think, like, he's sleepy, otherwise he wouldn't be accepting this. Yeah, isn't that right? You wee silly bastard. Alright, and with the cat, we will start drawing the stream to a close. Nearly 11 o'clock. Time to end. The cat's sleepy, so I'll deposit him back into the living room. He'll cause havoc soon enough. Probably when I deposit him back. He's already, I can see him already starting to look around. See those eyes? Why is he purring? He shouldn't like this. Like, there's no reason why he should be purring about this. Like, it's bizarre. What a strange animal. Yeah, okay. We're done. Stop eating my headphones. Stop eating my headphones. Your breath smells too bad. Ugh. You gonna say bye to all your fans? Say bye to all your fans. He's waving goodbye. Alright, I'll leave the music playing for a few minutes, and then as always, but cheers for hanging out. Yeah, you can sniff the headphones out because he loves to eat them. We'll catch you in 2 weeks.